something I remember from talking to people who've worked on first-person shooters on the console is that the tuning curves for making the stick feel good are actually something that you have to work on for a while to get sort of just right. Like, it's got to start out slow and speed up and then hit a good maximum. And I'm not going to worry about that yet, though. I just want to get something up and running that people can play with. Check if there's any questions on the forum. Let's see. It is like pair. You know, I was just thinking it's like pair programming without someone actually telling me where I'm going wrong. You know what? Here, let's see, because Jacob was able to message me on Skype and say, hey, if anybody wants to connect to me on Skype and be able to tell me when I'm making obvious mistakes, you can. Okay. Let's see. These breakpoints are from what I was doing this morning, trying to get the UI to work. The pause menu just wasn't working at all in the Friday's build. Sorry for that, for anybody who's playing with it and realized they couldn't flip the camera verticality or horizontality. How do you pronounce that? Okay, so anyways, back to trying to make this work. Let's get the gamepad feeling okay. Can't switch back to my thing because I'm stalled out. Okay, let's see. So, cranking that up a bit. So it feels good on the mouse, but not on the gamepad. So, Sid Meier technique, you know, he's not the first person to invent doing a login search, but when you're tweaking a variable, trying to figure out what feels good, the quickest way to get there is to sort of double it if it's too small and have it if it's too big, and do that sort of log-n search until you find the sweet spot. Looks like my left stick needs more of a dead zone. Or no, that's the right stick. The right stick needs more of a dead zone. That makes a lot of sense, because I have no dead zone in there. I was just using the raw values. In fact, I'm surprised it's not constantly drifting. And where am I at now? So that's a rotation factor of 4. Yeah, still feels kind of slow. Let's take it up to 8. Whee, that's fast. So yeah, that's the problem with first-person console games is you want to be able to do a 180 pretty quickly so you can look at what's behind you, but you also want that precision. So now I've got no precision, but I can turn around really fast. So I'll shoot for in between there. The whole game gets a sort of sense of moon physics in first person, which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fix. Don't want to make the physics different. Maybe mucking around with the field of view will help that some. I'm not sure. Let's see. So, anyways, that seems decent for now. Ship it. A Unity thing is when you're tweaking an inspector learned this the hard way over and over again. Just when you're tweaking an inspector variable and you stop it, that inspector variable reverts back to its original value. So it's pretty easy because it's just this one. If I changed a bunch of things, then I can copy the component, stop the game, go back, paste the component. It's in bold because it's different from the prefab. Apply that to the prefab, and so now we should have that decent value in all of our in all of our levels. So up and down now. So I think to do up and down, I want to put the camera on a hinge. Because I don't want to make the character look up and down. So I'm going to add another game object here. I forget where I got this script. A coworker at Treyarch made it, or he worked with somebody who made it. Rich Biso from Treyarch is now working on a game called Forsaken Planet using Unity, and they made these. Scripts to create game objects where you need them. Normally when you create a game object, it appears in the root and you have to drag it to where you want it. But with this, it puts it right where you need it. So we're going to take that, I'm going to put the camera on it. It lost the prefab connection, but we'll get that back when we apply changes. And then that'll let me rotate the camera up and down. Let's see, we'll call that camera hinge. You know what, I didn't need that. I can just rotate the camera up and down without that. Alright, abort, back. Okay. So, with that in mind, okay, so we're not first person. So I'll put the vertical look here. Even though it might make sense to have it more with the rest of the insert. I'm not sure I want it raw. Raw is just going to give me a delta. Really, what do I want? Well, let's do it this way because it's consistent. See how it goes. I am going to have to worry about that dead zone at some point. And we're going to rotate the camera eye here. So a lot of people would be horrified at what I'm about to do, which is I'm going to instead of like finding the child once and saving that transform or saving a link to it, I'm going to find it every frame. Because I do things the slow way, the slow but consistently correct way, and the easiest to regenerate way. If I had a for example, one way I could do this is in the swing mechanism. I could add swing mechanism class. I could add a variable which is like camera to rotate, and then it would be the job of the person instantiating the swing controller to remember to add the camera to the controller every time, and this way nobody has to remember to do that. Could do it once in Awake, and if it turns out to be too slow, that is what I'll do, but I doubt it will. Generally, if you do a dictionary lookup once a frame, it's not that big a deal, or assuming it's a dictionary lookup. So I want find child. What is that called? Get component in children is close. There, that's what we want. And that returns a transform, is that, I believe, so we can, yep. So this we're going to be rotating around X, but we also want to cap it. Is there any built-in ways of capping it? Yeah, I think we need to grab the value and look at it, and then only apply rotation if it hasn't hit its caps yet. Not too likely that that rotation factor is going to be right for both the horizontal and the vertical. Let's try it out and see. And we don't want to be able to look straight at the ground. I'm not actually sure if the Euler angles come back in radians or degrees. Let me look that up. A lot of Unity is in degrees. It's the first engine I've worked with that uses degrees a lot. We're all about the radians back at Treyarch. In degrees, okay. So then, yep. Often I'm so lazy that I would do the find child camera eye thing twice right here, but I won't be quite that lazy this time. Let's see, how do we set your rotation again?